Yo, what up, what up, what up? Y'all know the deal, man. Like and share, like and share, like and share. So we get this thing out everywhere. There's anywhere in the world you could be, but so be right here with me, the BABGOG. I appreciate you. Pull up on me, man. What's going on? Shout out everybody building. Please, 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 man. Hit the like button as you guys come in. Hit the like button to come in. Hit the like button to come in. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. So they had a conversation. First off, shout out to Hemp for this might be risky for hitting 50K subs. So they had a topic and 50K sub celebration or whatever. And they had the topic today talking about white violence. And I totally forgot that I already did this. See, again, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. First and foremost, like I said, I'm here damn near every day for the most part. So I go through so much content that I really don't focus on shit I did before until, I have to make sure I'm not recycling shit, right? And if you guys remember, this was back in May. I did this right here, right? I totally forget. Shout out to my man, Mr. Elite on Twitter for jogging my memory because he tagged me in something he wanted me to reply to. And then I remember, I already did this shit, right? Let's see. Gotta make it larger so you guys can see this. And this was way before, right? All the Charlie Kirk stuff or whatever, so on and so forth. Blah blah blah. May 31st, 2025, right? So I did the white collar crime. And I forget what the context was or why I did it. But I think basically it was the same thing again, to where black men were getting blamed and black men were just being these bad guys and all these different things because, I know that's what it was. I forget what the specific event was or the specific person, but that's exactly what it was, the same thing. So let me go ahead and show you guys this bullshit right here as to why we're doing this again, round 2, volume 2, right? Now, as much as I don't agree with fucking Don Lemon, I don't agree with Don Lemon, I think, on anything, okay? Y'all know he's you know what he is. But especially replying to this to Don Lemon. Now, again, Don Lemon is the wrong messenger for anything concerning black men whatsoever, okay? I don't even know, anything from a straight man dynamic and white man dynamic when he's married to a white man. It's crazy, right? So I don't know how you can be so critical and so afraid of the dangers of the white man and you sleeping with him. And, a little bit more than sleeping.
Are you gay?
How you gonna ask me a question like that?
How do you marry a woman and then turn around and let a man bend you over?
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending?
Yeah, definitely doing the bending out here. But white men, something deep in you is broken. You guys believe that violence is the answer. And my thing is, again, bro, violence isn't a race thing. This is something that everybody needs to stop, like right now. But especially more so white people to black people. Y'all need to be worried about your motherfucking business right now, white folks. We ain't got shit to do with this. Okay? We ain't shooting y'all. We ain't killing y'all. None of this mass shooting shit going on, whatever, so on and so forth. This is not black people. Well, more black people kill white. Yeah, you're right. I say that. I say that often, right? Yeah, but right now though, that's not your motherfucking problem. Y'all are fucking each other up at a high rate. Innocent motherfuckers that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Okay? This shit is also a political aspect that y'all need to figure out. So please leave us out of your bullshit. Not even please. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Leave us the fuck out of this. Straight black men specifically, bro. We ain't fucking with y'all right now. And this narrative that straight black men and you guys see this right here, right? Black men are an order of magnitude more violent than white men. When and how? When and how? Now y'all know, you know me. I don't even like to do the slavery shit. I don't like to do the civil rights shit. But bro, we've not caught up to y'all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The amount of lives black people have taken compared to white folks, bro, from even if we just go raw numbers, it's not even close. What are you talking about? Okay. So Matt Walsh out here wants to be the motherfucking general of the race war. Matt Walsh is also a major agitator and rabble rouser for the whole Carmelo Anthony situation, right? Now, I'm not saying that justifying the bullshit that people did by throwing the dude money for killing a kid, but Matt Walsh had a major part to play in that because of the same rhetoric. Now, if y'all are mad at Charlie Kirk, right, for asking a question when Charlie Kirk has actually said things in defense of black people and said things against racism and so on and so forth, this right here is what I like to call covert / overt racism, right? And again, you know, I don't play the race card at all, right? But this right here is to make white people feel like all black people is out to get them to do some shit. And that's not the case, bro. Okay? It's not the case. The vast majority of black men are not violent. The vast majority of black men are not criminals. So what I'm not finna let Matt Walsh motherfucking goofy ass, corny ass, weak ass, who would never do anything in real life, okay, do is put the jacket on straight black men while talking to a non-straight black man. So, you know, I had to reply, man. You know, my reply was, well, what categories of violence are we including? Because rape and child molestation are the most violent by far. There's no excuse or explanation for either of those either. Now, if a motherfucker kill a motherfucker, man, hey, it could be an explanation for that. You had a shootout, got in a fight, you know, hey, you had a personal beef. That's explainable, that's understandable. But sexually violating a woman or a child never is. Never excuse for either one of those. And y'all are leading by a lot. So I have to review this because I know for a fact we reviewed this before, right? At least the overall thing. But then we go look into the children thing also. Okay. So let's bring it up, man. Can y'all see this? No, it's not gonna make the thing, but I'll have to get it. I'll bring it up. Basically, what it says is, man, okay. Sexual abuse offenses, individual offense characteristics. 93.5% of individuals sentenced for sexual abuse were men. 55.1% were white. 15.2% were Hispanic. 13.9% were black. 13% were Native American, and 2.8% were other races. So you can't even use a per capita argument on that one because that one would be right about at the level, right? So you can't use a per capita argument. And I told you guys before, I hate when the per capita shit get brought up, right? Because that's to cover up the raw numbers to where white people are leading that. Well, you know, if we made everything, if was a filth motherfucker, what is the reality of it? Anytime you hear per capita and white folks bringing up motherfucking per capita, bro, it is to fucking try and shift some shit over to black people when they ain't got shit to do with us and make us worse than them. White people, again, we're not your enemy. All right. We ain't got shit to do with y'all right now. Y'all, if a black person is whooping a white person ass and all this other shit. Oh, and is one case going on right now that I'm going to talk about specifically, right? Now, this is why I say, well, first let me lay the premise. Violence is not a race problem. Okay? It's not. You could say it's a gender problem. I don't even say it's a gender problem because women commit violence too. It's just that, men are more aggressive, testosterone, all these different things. We know if women if women could, they would. And the amount of abuse that they show upon children show that, right? But either way, violent crime and violence against other people, mostly men. Nobody's going to argue that. So if you want to make a gender argument, I'm with you. But if you start talking the racial aspect of it and the bullshit, no, it's not the case. Violence is all around the world, bro. Shot the truck. We were just talking about this the other day, and I found out there was a fucking mass stabbing in China to where I think it was like 8 people killed and 14 other people wounded. A motherfucker was able, you can't have a gun, was able to kill 8 people with a fucking knife. Okay? Violent people are violent. White, black, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, Arab, African, Aboriginal, Indian, Caribbean, South American, European. People in general are violent. And people that are violent are going to harm other people. It's not race specific. Never has, never will be. And the problem with this whole bullshit of you trying to put it on black men, black men specifically, bro, is bullshit. Power 100,000 black women commit more homicides than white men. What do you mean? So what tracks with their population density? You talking about the taking pussy and touching kids? I don't think. I think you better be careful on this one, Hood. I think you might want to get out of there on this one, brother. Whether it tracks or not, they're the leaders by far. They're the leaders by far. Yes, exactly. Thank you. He is. We know this. Well, Carl, again, all it takes, man, again, is a lot of rhetoric. And that's what we're seeing. And that's what's heating up in this situation because there's a lot of people, man, sitting back that have a very, very little understanding of things outside of their bubble and things outside of their own group. So, again, most people's perception of what black men are come from the things they've been told and the things they've all been talked about, right? Or, TV shows, pop culture, data, statistics, all these different things, so on and so forth. And other people's perspective that shapes their minds as to what black people are. Actually, black people too, depending on who and where around who they're around. If you are a white person and you happen to be around a whole bunch of niggas, well, that's the representative of blackness that you have. You know what I'm saying? If you are a white person that's around a whole bunch of, black people, well, it's gonna be totally different. But if and when you're taught, that's why you speak so well, which is an insult like a motherfucker. But when a white person says some shit like that, they're letting you know that, oh, well, damn, they told me y'all were dumb. They said you guys weren't intelligent at all. That's what they've been, propagandized to think and believe. Right. So when you counter, you know what I'm saying, or disprove one of those one of those fucking oh my god, man, one of those stereotypes, dog, is like you really could see it. Bro, put one in the chat if you ever been around a white person that was like, they had a fucking eureka aha moment because you were an intelligent person. You were an intelligent person. You were, civil. You were all these different things, so on and so forth. And trust, believe me, man, there have been situations too, to where the white boys will let you whoop their ass to win, bro. Y'all know that? Y'all know that white boys will get under your skin and yeah. Oh, whatever. Oh, you do it, dude, do it. Yeah, do it. You wanna do it, man. Get your weak ass fuck up out of my face, man. I'm not finna throw away money and fuck my fucking career over your lame ass. If you want to do this shit outside of work, though, you know where to find me, bitch. Yo, what up, bro? What's going on? Exactly, man. Again, bro, white people, black people a lot. What you don't understand, what people don't understand, man, is that tribalism is extremely real, right? And for the most part, you're around your own group, you know your own group, and you're familiar with your own group. Okay. Very, very few people have enough time around another group of people to where they have an intimate level of understanding, knowledge, and experience. Right. Um, I say all the time, I have more experience than most for the military bullshit. Right. That racism shit, I definitely ran across a couple of races in the military. Two specifically that I knew for a fact were racist. It was like confirmed. One of them ended up getting kicked out because of racial shit that he had that they found him to be linked to, right? But yeah, like, you think he ever tried me though? Nah, bro. No, because motherfuckers know who to try that shit with, right? Now I ain't saying like, it ain't some crazy ass white boys out here, Aryan Nation, skinheads, KKK, that will motherfucking, do some shit, but it's very, very few and far in between. And just like the KKK, the Aryan Nation, the skinheads, the fucking white supremacists don't represent the majority of fucking white people. Neither do the niggas, the gangbangers, the killers, the robbers, the drive-by fucking shooters represent the majority of fucking black men. And white people, y'all need to shut Matt Walsh the fuck up and start pushing back against this and being like, hey man, we need to focus on us right now. Talking about what the black folks is doing ain't helping us with this shit to where it's a random white dude. I think they had 3 mass shootings over the weekend? 3, was it 3 or 5? 3 or 5 white people shooting shit up over the weekend. All white. Fuck they gotta do with us. Now, there is one case that's going on where some piece of shit nigga killed this white girl. And of course, they're trying to make him the standard, make him the prototypical black man. And that's just not the case, bro. It's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Nobody's out here trying to protect him. Nobody's out here trying to make excuses for him. For the most part, that's how we all treat piece of shit individuals, especially the black ones. Y'all know I can't stand niggas. Niggas make black people look bad and give people like Matt Walsh the fuel, right? See, look at there. Look at him. See, told you. All right. Now, let me correct something that earlier today. So they showed the Nia something, the girl named Nia something was killed, I think they said back in 2021, right? Very, very similar situation to the Ukrainian girl that was killed on a train in North Carolina, right? I said earlier that it wasn't on camera, but I guess it was. All the clips I seen up until today, and they even still today, they paused it or whatever, they blurred it out. And that still supports my point, but it was on camera, I'm guessing, from the surveillance. But they didn't release the actual footage to the public. Bro, I don't think people understand. Again, we had this conversation the other night. Bro, actually seeing a person die has a mental effect on you. Okay? Seeing that shit in real time, bro. Yeah, listen. And that's what I'm talking about. They definitely need to be worried more so about them than us. And then, like I said, too, Freedman's, if we talk about the trans aspect of it, y'all got a major issue and problem with that. If we want to talk about per capita, trans should be at the top of everybody's list. But motherfuckers too scared to have that conversation. Please stop trying to make black men an easy target, right? Stop it. Y'all got more, it's more people out here, man, that's doing way worse shit than what we're doing, or just as much shit as we're doing. And the first and only name y'all always want to bring up is black men. Get the fuck out of here with the bullshit. Yeah, for them to be like what 3% of the fucking population and then 12.3. Hey, 85% of individual cases involving statutory rape were Native American. 48.7% of individual cases involving sexual abusive sexual contact were Native American, and 23.3% were white. So the largest victims are the feathers and the white folks. Why y'all ain't talking shit about motherfucking running bull and sitting tree and shit? Yeah, you're taking pussy, touching kids. Again, that's far more fucking violent than just murder, robbery. I can forgive a motherfucker for that. I can give a motherfucker for fucking killing a motherfucker. It's self-defense, of course, or like, equal beef. I got you. You shooting at him, he shooting at you. Hey, you got the ups and you got the kill shot. Hey, man, somebody had to go. Rather be judged by 12 and carried by 6. And hey, the 12 hit your ass with the years. Hey, I understand it, brother. But you must be motherfucking rather living than that motherfucking pine box. Hopefully they give you some type of parole because it was a self-defense and a shootout situation. And hey, man, hey, robbing a motherfucker. I really hate thieves, but hey, you do the shit and you don't hurt anybody in the process. Serve your debt to society, come back out and change your ways. I can forgive you for that. Okay. But if you out here taking pussy or touching children as an adult, I can never forgive you for that. You're a piece of shit. Because those are unnecessary. There's no necessity in you doing that. The murderer had to save his own life. Okay. In that case, that's the only case I'm not talking about you just, randomly picking up somebody like this asshole black dude that killed the little white girl. Okay. Not talking about that. But I'm saying I'm giving the cases as to where, it could be justifiable. Robbing somebody, hey, you down on your luck or whatever, so on and so forth, la la la. You break into some shit. Of course, I said nobody gets hurt. You ain't toting no pistols. You got the TV. You hop out the one and they got you. Hey, all right. But again, you forcing yourself sexually onto a woman or a child. There's no explanation of that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And why aren't white people concerned with this? Why y'all want to turn to us and always want to talk about what the hell black folks got going on? Now, what I forgot to cover the last time, and we ain't even talked about, remember last time we covered bestiality. Y'all love them dogs a little too much. Incest. Robbery is a profession. It is not guys who are down on their luck. How is it a profession if you get caught doing it? You're horrible at your profession. And still, I'm pretty sure, Hood, that you would agree that robbery down on the ends of, I guess, violent crime would be much lower than murder, child molestation, or taking some pussy. Pretty sure. At least I hope. Might happen more than we think. What we talk? What artifacts? What might happen more? Yeah, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Well, no, we're talking about violent shit. So let's stick with the violent shit. That's violent. Forcing your animals too is violent. So let's see. Shout out to Ramil for the 20 ball. Appreciate you, brother. I don't believe the per capita argument is invalid as it evens the data out since the pop numbers are different, but they have no room to talk. Their per capita is way worse, and they overhype their skills in life since the 1800s. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but I just don't. So at the end of the day, right? I understand per capita from an argument standpoint is if you had everything equal, this would be the case, but it kind of makes it moot because that's not it. Overrepresenting this shit, I understand it, right? But at the end of the day, you're limited into the impact you can have due to your population. Now, I would definitely agree if we you know, were outpacing them in certain shit or whatever, like by a lot. Because I understand, hey, if you're represent 13% of the population, you should have 13% of the murders and violent crime and all these different things, so on and so forth, right? So if you got 40%, that's a big deal. At the end of the day, though, that is a scapegoat tactic they use to take away from their own issues and problems. That the same shit I talk about us when we compare it to them. So shit, in real time, I just realized. So I guess they do. I guess white people do the same shit. That well, okay, well they do it too, but it's not that they do it too, but the black people are worse, right? So while black people say, well, white people do it too, white people, this and that and all this other shit and la 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 to excuse away the bullshit we got going on, we need to work on and try to improve upon. White people say, well, oh well, the black people per capita is way worse. It's more of us than them, so yeah, but per capita. So I guess it's the equal fucking argument on different, you know what I'm saying? What table? What table you want me to pull up? No, it's not. What are you talking about? No, I just showed them. Well, hold on, let me see. Here we go. And this is for fiscal year 2024, by the way. All right, should be big enough for y'all to see. Y'all can read it now, right? Put a one in the chat if you guys can see this clearly. I think you should be able to see it clearly. Motherfucker, I don't want to use the assistant. I need to slide this motherfucker over. Hold on. There you go. All right, sexual abuse offensive, fiscal year 2024, as you guys can see, right? This is all the numbers right here. The two biggest perpetrators are Native Americans and white people. 67% of individual cases involving production of child pornography were white. Production of child pornography. 55.6% of individuals in cases involving travel for prohibited sexual contact, white. 60.5% of individuals in cases involving criminal sexual abuse, rape, Native American. 85% of individual cases involving statutory rape, Native American. 48.7% of individuals in cases involving abusive sexual contact were Native American, and 23.1% were white. So again, this is the most violent of violent things. Why do white people ignore it? Why do white people always leave out sexual abuse and rape when we're talking about violent crimes? Last time I checked, that sex crimes are violent crimes. Jesse Lee, you're going too far. Again, you and Hood, y'all are going too far. So they're still overrepresenting. So if they're only 6% of the population, they're 67% of individuals producing child, Again, I don't think there should be any defense of this. There's some topics and some subjects where there should be like no pushback, and I think this is one of those. Doesn't matter. We're 13% and we are 14% and we underrepresent. So you're gonna talk about that? Actually, let me see what the black population is right now. Population percentage by race. Yeah, actually, okay. Well, yeah, actually less. So yeah. So we're well, no, I guess we overrepresent by 1%. 38% of what? Where do you see 38% at? Now you're just making up shit. Yeah, that's why I have the list up. Violent crime, sex crimes are violent crimes, Jesse Lee. But you don't think sex crimes are violent crimes? You don't think forcing a person or a child is a violent crime? You don't think that's a violent crime? I think that is a fundamental issue and problem if this is not qualified that way. And I think that's something that needs to change in America like yesterday. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. I know I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Well, Silent Sir, this is what I'm saying. So, Silent Sir, we know Native Americans represent like 2% of the population, yet they represent 60% of rapes. And 85% of statutory rapes. So why aren't they talking about the motherfucking Native Americans? That's crazy for fucking 3%. Yeah, Hood Server, you proving my point. So it's mighty funny that something that's the most violent of the most violent, right? And it's so frowned upon in American society. And just the allegations itself can ruin a man's life, right? Um should be classified as a violent crime. But if you want to separate yourself and not be the violent criminals that black men are, well, what you do is you requalify a sex crime as its own separate entity when it's truly by nature a fucking violent crime. If strong arm robbery, or you know what I'm saying, to where you fucking forcing somebody to give their shit up, right, is a violent crime, how is forcing someone to give up fucking their body not a violent crime? Free as I can after I get everything done. Are just crime. They're not violent crimes. Well, again, I think the same stance I took with the whole trans overrepresentation shit, and that black men need to start being like, hey, we not the problem. Y'all need to look at these Decepticons, these people that have a mental illness already, just off a bat of not understanding their identity. We need to start pushing this shit about, oh, sex crimes are definitely fucking violent crimes. That'd be the first thing I bring up when white people, black men are violent. Well, white men and Native Americans taking the most pussy out here and molesting the most kids. So I put them motherfuckers at the bottom of everything. That's the most diabolical motherfucker in existence. Like I said, the motherfucker that killed somebody, he might have a reason for it. Okay, but you again taking sex or touching kids, no, never. No, it's not. Sexual harassment and sexual assault is two different things. No, let's not do that. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what rape is. Well, no, we know Brian Banks was lied on. What does that have to do with anything though? He was also exonerated. Brian Banks is the proof of like what I'm saying. Well, no, Jesse Lee. Unfortunately, no. A whole line isn't violence, but are we gonna say that no niggas is out here taking pussy? See, I like shit like this because we had to have a conversation, and we actually had a conversation. Like, what are we defending here? Of course, we know all women aren't telling the truth, but then you get into the sticky situation of what percentage of them are, right? And for those that are, right, let's just talk about the ones that for sure are the actual pussy takers. Let's just focus on them. Let's not do the motherfucking whatabouts and the false allegations and all this shit. We know that exists. I'm not saying it doesn't. Never said it don't. Okay. But who I'm talking about are the actual fucking sexual predators. Um, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem pushing that. If your lie could result in someone losing their freedom and having to go to prison, yeah, I believe that's violence. I won't fight you on that at all, Jesse Lee. I think any woman that lies on a man and she's found to be lying, right? I believe that she should have to serve the time that man was facing, without a doubt. But society's not ready to have that, that conversation and use those measures and methods because So again, don't act like I done changed. I'm still me. I still know Ho's line. I know I don't believe all women, right? But I do know for sure there's some niggas out here that's taking pussy, without a doubt. Just like it's a fucking woman out here touching kids. That's another thing too, right? So even more so, these white women, these white teachers, white women teachers that are out here fucking all these kids. White people, y'all got a whole bunch of other shit y'all need to be concerned with than talking about black men being violent. Every other month for the beginning of this year and the end of last year, there was a fucking every month actually there was a story of some motherfucking white woman out here fucking her students at length. No pun intended. With husbands and shit. A whole married woman with grown dick at home. And now they need the student. Yeah, exactly. Again, white people, y'all need to tell white Matt Walsh to shut the fuck up and focus on y'all. Y'all have much bigger problems than trying to motherfucking shift the blame and shift the motherfucking focus on black men. One piece of shit nigga does not represent all black men or the majority of black men. Okay? Fuck that per capita shit. Because at the end of the day, you still have less than what? 2% of black men that are criminals. Actually, less than 1. Okay? There are approximately fucking 23 million black men out here. Or black males, rather. So when you look at the small amount of fucking criminals, especially we're talking about violent criminal only that come out of this shit, bro. What are we talking about? We don't get the advantage of having 5 times the people that y'all do, right? So you have the same number of criminals. Well, actually, you have more criminals, but again, it probably comes out to be the same percentage because you have so many more people. Again, sexual abuse. Let me see what the fuck I looked up. Delete. delete, delete, delete. Nia Wilson was her name, by the way. Delete. What the fuck is what I looked up earlier, bro? What the fuck did I look up? Hold on, let me see if it's in a thing. Oh, this was the other. My bad. How am I protecting anything? I'm not protecting shit. I literally said, "Fuck them, get them out of here." I'm not protecting a damn thing, Jesse Lee. Don't do that. I'm saying that those motherfuckers do not represent us. I'm saying that criminals are criminals, and that you can't take a small group of fucking criminals and then spread them out to say that it's a racial aspect to it, to where the majority or most or a substantial number of black men are even criminals, when that's not the case. The numbers don't support that. The numbers don't support that across any group. The criminal contingent of, especially the violent criminal contingent, is even smaller, right? Let's just say the criminal contingent of all groups are very, very small, nominal as fuck. And you're never going to live in a utopic society to where everything is perfect and nobody robs anybody, nobody kills anybody, nobody does any violence, nobody does anything wrong. That's what I'm saying. This bullshit. They asking for me on what? Niggas paid $200 for me to fucking get on fucking what's name, man. No, I'm on my own shit. No, nigga paid $200 to kick me off the fucking show. I'm on my shit now. If they want me, they can come over here. Let them know. Tell them I'm doing my show. If they want to come talk to me, they can come talk to me over here. Especially being that, you know what I'm saying, I've been covered the topic they're covering already. I just forgot about it. Yeah, that's still my people, man. It ain't his fault. It ain't his fault. That's, you know, that's niggas paying money, man. It is what it is. I respect it. I just don't do it. Well, no, yeah, Kadash. As I said, I said it before. I mentioned him before, with the whole Carmelo Anthony situation, to where he was the person that really kicked everything off. Him and some other guy, the quartering dude. I don't know what that fat motherfucker's name is, right? But Matt Walsh is a conservative version of Hassan Piker. Same people, same motherfucking, you know, two sides different, same coin, same shit, rhetoric. To where Hassan Piker is, you know, all Republicans are bad, all MAGA's bad, you know, la la la. Matt Walsh is black people, right? Same motherfuckers, just different, you know. But again, I'm not. I'm saying this because I know that white people are too smart for this. And again, um, listen, remember they said, I forget what it was, to where they was telling what president it was or what politician. If I can make the if I can make the poorest white man believe that he's better than the Negro, right? That's all I need to do. It's always been motherfucking poor white trash people, trailer park motherfuckers before trailer parks existed. But because you were white, right? That's why, you know, that's what happened with Tulsa, right? That's what happened with Rosewood. That's what happened in a lot of these situations, to where white people were jealous because they couldn't understand how these niggas was doing so good. How these niggas doing better than me? I'm a white man. I'm supposed to be better. I'm supposed to have more money. I'm supposed to. Whoa. What? What sounds like Negro mythology, brother? What you talking about? What sounds like Negro mythology? See, hood man, again, hood man, and I fucks with you, but bro, y'all niggas make it difficult, man. This is why I'm never going to be labeled a conservative. I don't think there's anything I said that's defensible right now, or should be any differentiation made. The white folks out here, the conservative white folks, is talking shit about you, brother. You are included. You are a black man. They don't make no differentiation. Yeah, and that's what they were saying. Anybody remember who that was? the either the politician or whoever it was that made that statement about, as long as I can make the poorest white man believe that he's better than his whiteness makes him better than black people, hey, it's the same process now, just update a little bit better. Oh, as long as I can make the white people, the poor white trash motherfuckers and the piece of shit motherfuckers that don't really add anything to society or their race or anything, think that they're better than black people because black people are also violent. Now I have a fucking, but let me see. Damn. So I can't I don't know what prompt I use for this one. Let me see if I can save image. Here we go. Save. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. There we go. For context, data on convicted offenders in federal sexual abuse cases also shows some breakdowns by race and gender. The U.S. Sentencing Commission fiscal year 2023 report provides the following data. Gender, 93.8% of individuals sentenced for sexual abuse were men. Race of individuals sentenced for sexual abuse, 55.4% were white, 16% were black, 14% were Hispanic, 12.3% Native American, and 2.2% of other races. Well, damn, that didn't give me... that I wanted the child thing, but I think that's probably why it's not giving it to me. Trying to, and the prompt, whatever prompt I used, they didn't keep up there. Fuck it, man. Here we go, Hood. Because whoever, I'm gonna drop the link, man. So we got a combo. Fuck it, let's do it. I think that'll be better. Whoever wants to come up, links in the chat, man. If we want to come up and have a conversation, I think it'll be a lot more fruitful. And things can be exchanged. And hey, white people, you're welcome to definitely join. Okay, all right. Don't come up here on no motherfucking nigga this nigga that shit. Get your ass up out of here. Uncle Phil, you right the fuck on up out of here. But by all means, man, I think this conversation needs to be had because this whole racial divide, this race war shit they're trying to get, civil war, race war, bro, this shit got to stop. Y'all, what up?
Hey, what's going on? Fantastic. First though, I think I'm technically on your side in the sense that black folk are not an existential threat to white people. So from that standpoint, yeah, I would agree with you. I think the problem is black folk desperately want to be, and that's where there's like hostility and shit. Like if you think about the idea of white supremacy, black folk are just blaming white people for the rain and the moon and anything that goes wrong in the world. Apparently, white supremacy means it's white people's fault. And so I think what's happening is like, and like I raised this question in the chat. Like, if you ever look at a bar graph of the interracial crime, black on white versus white on black, it's completely lopsided. And so for black folk to constantly say that white folk are treating them some kind of way or have them under some kind of oppression, you wouldn't be robbing and assaulting people who are oppressing you so much. It just don't make sense. And so I think it's not even a white thing. I think if black folk got over it, it would actually lower the tensions a lot because you don't see a lot of white folk pushing the way you got a few handful of guys on the internet. Like even Matt Walsh is tame compared to what's really out there. But when I think about the totality of it, it's like, I mean, damn, you niggas been pushing since like the 50s. At some point, you have to take a break, bro.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at the thing and it's like double. That was 2016. Though. I'm gonna see if I can find it 2019.
What are you looking up right now?
The comparison of what she's talking about, the black to white to black crime ratio is 2019. So the percent of what was this arrests, right? And you know what's crazy? They stopped doing this shit, man. They need to bring this back. They definitely need to bring this back.
I think they stopped doing it for
Yeah,
obvious
yeah,
political reasons.
for
It
pressure.
kills the narrative.
Yeah, they stopped doing it because of fucking social pressure. Let me share this real quick. And I think you can still look it up. I think you just gotta parse it yourself for the ones that they have now. They just don't do it like they used to do. Not 2019 was the last year they did it like this. So 2019, right? This is total arrests, right? 4 million white people, 1.8 million black people, 164,000 Native Americans and Alaskan Natives, 86,000 Asians and Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, right? So 26 point, you know what? They don't even have like, so I'm guessing Hispanics are included in what's the name? Well, now they say this is kind of weird because it's not giving me this. It's cut off. It says total
Now
arrest.
I don't know how real this is, fantastic, but you know, in the right wing circles, they keep there's a rumor going around that a lot of folks are misclassified as white in the data. I haven't really been able to confirm it, but I keep seeing some examples going around, and I don't know how real it is, but shit's kind of fishy, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know because it got Hispanic or Latino out here, and I don't know what the rest of the thing is because it's cut off. Like the table got cut off. It's weird. But either way it goes, right? So we represent 26.6% of arrests, 69.5%, 69.4% were white, right? So that's double representation because we're right at 13%, right? So 13% double is 26%. So you have double the representation for what's the name. Native Americans are where they are, Asians are pretty much under, and then Pacific Islanders are probably where they at, right? So that's arrests. Let me see. So now here, let's go with these, right? So 11,000 for white, 4,000 for black, 249. And again, it's 2019 for the people that don't know. Total 14,000, right? So again, like I said, I think this right here is where we get to the thing, right? Because even in these other cases, there were more black robberies, right? But clearly more aggravated assaults. An aggravated assault is definitely violent, right? I don't know if that's classified as a violent crime, but that's like what 70,000 more, 70 plus thousand more aggravated assault cases, burglary cases, 50,000 more burglary cases, larceny, theft, just plain stealing, right? I don't think that's what's the name, motor vehicle theft. So that's what I'm saying. When you look at this shit, man, I think this per capita shit is a major cop out because, again, at the end of the day, we can talk about potential crime and statistical crime and shit, right? But all that shit is imaginary. What's the actual crime that's going on? And when you look at this shit, I mean, white people got their own shit to be worried about, bro. Because let me see, mm, how many white people are there? Like what? It's a total of 300 million people. How many white people make up? What, 60% of the population, right? Like 60%. Let me see. So what?
Roughly.
So what? That's 180 million. Well, no.
Here's a mental exercise, I guess. What is the current homicide rate in America right now? And what would the rate be if you removed all the black people from the count? And that would give you a stark difference in the two things. And I think that's why people focus on the black homicide rate because it is so we are like the Michael Jordans of the shit, bro. We so outperform everybody else in that one category.
Well, let me see. They have murder and non-negligent manslaughter. So yeah, so we're outpacing them by like 400 in 2019 in murders, right? So the only two categories.
Are these total sums? Because I can't really read the screen.
Oh my bad. Let me make it larger.
Well, I'm on my phone anyway, but are they total sums?
Yeah. So the total of everything would be here on the end, right? So total murder and non-negligent manslaughter in 2019 was 6,474. We represented 51.1% of, and that's for arrest, by the way. That was arrest, not conviction, but
Now,
arrest.
now you realize you just pretty much almost stated the 1350 meme, right?
Which was
13%, 13% of the country, 51% of
yeah,
the
50%
homicides.
of the murders, 20. But that's what I'm saying. But that's 2019. I'm pretty sure that's gone down. That's the thing. So when he's
That's
using
about
it,
when the meme came alive, though. Yeah,
huh?
that's around the time the meme came alive, about 2019. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. So when he said that, that is accurate then.
yeah. People kind of act as if it's some kind of racist myth, but if you kind of just look at the numbers in the aggregate, it's roughly true.
No, like I said, I knew.
At least for that year, right?
Yeah, I knew it was an issue of overrepresentation in that specifically, right? My problem is though how they're purposely skipping over everything else when clearly, you know, robbery should be considered a violent crime because I think robbery is usually some sort of force using to take shit, right?
It should
Um,
be. I don't know why it's not.
and then aggravated assault is also a violent crime because you know what I'm saying, you harm someone, you call it physical harm. And then rape, robbery, aggravated assault. Um, yeah, arson is actually. I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know.
I want to throw something at you, fantastic, because I don't have numbers on this, and I just want to get your take on something.
Mhm.
Because we're talking about the sexual assault thing, and yeah, obviously the numbers look crazy for white guys, and especially with the CP and the videos. Oh, yeah, you guys are awful. However, I imagine that the sexual assault numbers are a little bit higher, a lot higher in Black America than we like to acknowledge. And my only real evidence for that is there are way too many LGBTQ people for some. This is not right. I think there are a lot of kids being touched inappropriately, and this is why we have such a high disproportionate showing of LGBTQ in the Black culture too. That's my weird theory, but like I said, no numbers on it yet. But I suspect that's true.
Okay, so by how much though? You think it's even with white people?
Oh no,
I don't.
I don't know how to gauge it in that sense. I just think the numbers are slightly higher than what they're stated currently.
Well, and I would give you that. I would definitely say that there's a lot of kids out here that are of all races that are being touched that is not being reported. But if we were to increase it, right, I still don't think it would be anywhere close to what white people are just because of the deficit, right? So if we look at just even in the rape aspect of it, right, um, they're almost 3 times the number, right? So if they're what 43 points over what we are, I don't think there's that much of unreported, rapes.
Well, I think they technically track with their population density, from what I understand. And so my question is, does if your number at 13% for Black America also track with the population density, I would argue there's a huge level of underreporting in Black America.
Still no. Even if I granted you that, it still wouldn't be anywhere near close
I'm not
to.
making that kind of argument. No, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that
Yeah,
one. Right?
I believe
They
I
put
believe
up a
all
lot of
crime.
numbers.
I believe all crime is underreported for the most part. I think all crimes are underreported. But that's what I'm saying. If we start making that argument for everything, I mean, and that's across the board, especially if you're talking about things that go on with children or anything sex related. I think those things are, you know what I mean?
Right, like I'm
So,
not even trying to
but
fight you to the death on that particular territory. I just think when it comes to the Black, like
just let me say
assault
this.
numbers,
Well, when I say that, I'm talking about the men that don't report it. So I'm not even talking about the women aspect of it. I'm saying that men get shit did to them, unfortunately, and they never report it because
men and boys.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about.
And right, and so this is what kind of it's a suspicion. No, I have no numbers to back this up, and I'm not going to stand on it like it's a grand point. But I suspect those black numbers are significantly higher than reported. Not competing with white necessarily, but let's just not lie to ourselves anymore. There's a
Yeah,
problem there too.
yeah, yeah. I think that's anything that helps save children from being abused. I'm with that 1,000%. But at the same time, like I said, I think that should definitely be classified as a violent crime first and foremost. But most importantly, like you said, with that being seen as a violent crime, white people have a major, huge issue and problem with not protecting their children and violating them.
Well, that would totally skew the stats. Honestly, that one thing alone might totally throw the stats off and shit. So, I don't know how to do that, like how to treat that. I don't know if we should classify it as a violent crime by definition. Because here's the problem with just sexual assault in general, right? The act of sex itself is neither violent nor a crime. And so now you have this thing of like where there's regret rape and all that. Like you come back 2 weeks later and saying, well, I don't know if that was consensual. Like it
Well,
gets
yeah,
really tricky on some of the fringes.
no, I got you, right, and I understand that argument, but especially for the children part, there's no argument there. There's no regret for this one.
Yeah,
So
I'll
that's why
give you that. I'll give you that 1,000 feet. Yeah.
so we're talking about the that aspect of it though. Still, now we have to get into the what percentage of rape cases and rape reports are regret. You feel me? We have is it more than half? Because half, I mean, half would be, I won't say reasonable, but that would be the most, the most, the highest accepted number of being, wasn't it? We said half of them were lying, which I don't think is that high, right?
I don't
But
know.
that's
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying. We get into a slippery slope when we start having a conversation, and that conversation within itself is just not worth having because you're going to be, even if you're right, you're going to be insensitive and you're going to be what's name.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of these things, you feel me? So it's just a lot of these conversations, outside of a woman clearly, truly being found to be a liar about being sexually assaulted or being raped. It's just not a conversation you can have honestly because society is always going to label the bad guy. But I feel you come from. But let me get Freeman's in here. Freeman, what's up, brother? What you got for me?
Hey, what's going on, Fantastic?
Can't complain, bro.
So let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Um, all right. So murder victims by race, right? In 2023.
Mhm.
So 9,284 black murder victims, right? And 7,289 murder victims. We are the most murdered in the country because that is what we're doing to each other. We are murdering each other. Right. So 13%, the 1350 thing, yada, yada. Okay, whatever. At some point, right? Does this ever matter?
No,
Right.
I agree.
Because
I completely totally agree. Freeman, listen, I'm not running from that, and I'm saying I am saying with all fucking shame and whatnot, what have you, black people have an issue and problem internally with violence against each other. The argument I'm making is not to take my problem is what Matt Walsh is doing when the violent crime aspect of it right now has nothing to do with us. Like you said, for the majority of those, I think for black people is like 90%, 92% or something, and everybody else is a little bit less than that 90% rate, or we have the highest rate against ourselves. So the mass majority of that number is going to be stuff that's going on against us. Matt Walsh ringing the bell or blowing the whistle or whatever it is, right? Inciting white people to focus on black people in a time to where you just had 3 fucking mass shootings of innocent people, right? Well, white people targeted white people and whatnot, what have you. I think that's just, that's extremely, extremely dangerous because we didn't have shit to do with that. The same message I have for black people and jumping into the Charlie Kirk shit and speaking on Charlie Kirk because it had nothing to do with us, right? And niggas got in their feelings and emotions and purposely took something out of context. And he was asked, "Oh, he was talking about gang members and gang violence." No, he asked a question, and then because the original question was about trans something and so on and so forth. That's why he got shot. You feel me? So yeah, this isn't me. I'm the same fantastic, bro. Niggas need to do better. But what I'm saying right now, I'm not tolerating some motherfucking weak ass white boy trying to throw us under the bus, us as in black men, saying that we're the fucking face of violence and we're way more violent than white men. When if you just want to talk about murders, yeah. But what I'm saying is, and this is something I think we're uncovering in real time, that the classifications of what violent crime is purposely done that way to take away from white people being violent, white men specifically.
Okay, so here's the thing about this. Matt Walsh et al., right, need the ranker to feed themselves.
Exactly.
So giving them the algorithm, right, is the wrong thing to do. So what I usually do is point out that let's see, where is this? Okay. Let me bring this over here. Is that still being shared? Let me see. Okay, so this is Hattiesburg, Mississippi, right?
Mhm.
So you don't get any deeper south. So this area here, right, is densely populated black area. And this is going to be where the lowest home prices are and the most crime is, right? But this over here is the integrated area that has the highest home values in the area. So what I tend to do is point this out and say, well, yeah, there's a problem here, but you're not trying to paint me with that brush over here because these people are getting along just fine. Right. And straight up, like, I'll tell people, look, just take a screenshot. Don't repost it because you're feeding this fool. If it's on Twitter and you're reposting it and refuting it, just take a screenshot. Right. So you don't freaking, feed them. So you don't feed the troll. Honestly, and they do this, even all human behavior, right? You're going to do whichever you're rewarded for.
Mhm.
So if they get rewarded, right, and you make it profitable, they're going to keep doing it.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's just
like
my take.
I think this is something that's very, very important to be counter narrative, right, to the bullshit. Like Mayo Monkey is saying, right? What do you say? Let me see. I don't know why it's not showing me. And gang and drug shootings are purposely removed from mass shootings stats to hide those. Well, either way it goes, it shows up in the the murders, right? So y'all are gonna get that regardless, right? But we know that just like mass shootings doesn't happen that often, and when they do happen, it's just like that shit doesn't get talked about. I mean,
Well, that was just the conversation I was having over on Gracie's channel. Like, black folk have this definition in their head that a mass shooting is something that white boys do. But like, I personally have been witness to, not directly, but I was telling them I just missed this shit. Like, I know personally a nigga I knew who killed 3 people in one shot, and I walked over the bodies right after. Niggas do that shit, bro. And so, like, by definition, one person, one black guy shooting 3 other niggas in some crazy moment, it's not that uncommon. Yet somehow the black conception of a mass shooting is a white boy went into a school.
well, it's not just it's not just a black conception. That's America. So again, when everybody thinks school shooting, right? They think white guy, Columbine. They again, the most infamous aspect of it, that one, and then the other one would have been Sandy Hook, right? I mean, those were performed unfortunately by white dudes. So and then if you have going postal, right? Remember that? That's something we used to say in our
Post
generation.
office workers,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Post office workers, some oldest grown up white guy that killed everybody at the damn job, right? Or fucking Ted Kaczynski, this genius motherfucker who got so bored he had nothing else to do other than blow people's fingertips off. Eventually, so I think he killed one person. You feel me? So it's not us. If anything, it's something that we adopted that was put out. You know what I'm saying? Black people didn't make up the point about fucking white folks being school shooters or being mass shooters. Is that the white people were mass shooters, and then you know what I'm saying? That's what you see, and that's what people that typically did them. Outside of, like you said, the one situation with the DC sniper, and he dead, right? They got him up out of there, didn't they?
Well, I know they arrested him. I don't know if they executed him or not. I don't think DC does executions, do they?
Hell no, they definitely gave his ass execution, bro. He got fucking
Okay,
he got the
I
death.
don't know.
Let me see. Yeah, they got his ass up out of there, bro. 2009.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the quickest goddamn
What about the boy? Because he actually had a spotter with him. He had a young boy with him.
I think they gave him life. I don't think he got the death penalty also because he was kind of
Okay.
lethal novel. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a little kid
he got
basically.
consecutive life sentences.
Damn.
They don't even got his picture. And he was born in what, 85? So when he was doing it, well, when did this happen? Early 2000s? Was he grown yet? I think he might
I
have
think he
been
was still a juvenile, bro.
2002. Yeah, he was 17. He would have been 17 if that.
Yeah. And we all knew that was a white guy.
Everybody knew it was. Everybody swore it was. Bro, I was
You know how
kicking
shocked
it
we
back.
were.
I was pushing that pack when that shit was happening, bro. That shit was like, you know what I mean? That shit was like an hour up the road, bro. That shit was an hour up the road, man. Hey, man, I remember that shit. Everybody was shook in DC, bro. That nigga had everybody shook. But no, that's what I'm saying, man. I agree with what you're saying, Freedman's, as far as hey, not feeding the trolls and whatever. But I think black men specifically need to do a much better job of protecting our image and publicly speaking out against the bullshit and not just letting it slide, right? Especially in calling out for what it is, not going back and forth and being on crack of this, crack of that, and white folks saying this, and no, like actually refuting the data with data and actually starting to look at more to the situation so that the conversation could be had. Like I said, I don't have no issue or problem with white people having their opinions, but my thing is just you wouldn't want me just running around calling all white men a whole bunch of PDF files and and rapists. You feel me?
You know,
So it should be the same thing when we start talking about violent crime and especially once we're looking into this real time and finding out that well, you don't classify those things as violent crime, so this is why people don't have the conception in a relation of it being that way with white people.
I think there's a lopsided environment when it comes to like discussing certain things, right? There is no white ethnic studies program where as a young adult you get sequestered into your college environment and then they teach you how awful and evil all the white culture has been and how secretly great your culture was until the white man came. Like I think we teach and we intentionally build up resentment within black folk, and then we're somehow mystified that they go off and do awful things to white people at random. Like I think we kind of provoke the shit ourselves in a lot of ways.
What do you mean? You talking about as far as like black people committing violence against white people?
Assata Shakur passed away recently, right? And a
Yeah, like 2
lot of
years
black
ago.
folk, Brandon Johnson, mayor of Chicago, the Chicago Teachers Union wants to celebrate her, right, as a hero, but
Uh-huh.
she's a cop killer. She literally kills cops as a part of her quote black liberation. And the question now becomes, well, what do black folk think they need to be liberated from? And the answer is like white people, basically. Like we really teach this kind of bizarre suicidal hatred of white people, and then we're shocked when they notice how awful we think they are, and then they don't want to sit next to you or whatever. Like, bro, there's a lot of this shit that's happening internally among black folk, and then we kind of ignore that that's how it is. Like, what the whole Black Liberation Army? We have entire movements among black folk dedicated to just killing white people and throwing over the country. Yet somehow we're concerned with the white man's attitude about violence and shit.
Yeah, well, I think it's the same way though. Hood. I don't think. I think far less, more. Well, let me be careful in saying this. So I think it's safe to say, still in this time, 2025, that half of black people think white people are, the boogeyman out to get them. Right. I think that 50% though number is because you still have so many people that lived in the civil rights era, right? The boomers are still here. Like I said, my mom, she would still be a boomer. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, my mom would be a boomer, and she started school segregated. I think she by first grade or second grade, they integrated schools, and we're told how white people are by those people. So you have this concept that's given to you, you know what I'm saying? Because the people that raised you told you all of these things. So I think now, especially now, man, kids are
Mhm.
more integrated and more interacting and more social interracially than ever. So I think it's just due to the generational aspect of it. I know for a fact, um kids like my son's age, my son's 19, my son and my daughter, they 19 years old and younger, they don't see that shit, bro. They literally look at each other as like, family. That's regardless of race. If they cool, they cool. That racial shit is very, very few and far between. So I
That's
I
how
agree.
question
you.
how much,
That's how you raised them.
right? I question
Well,
how
yeah.
much is really fading though.
Well, yeah, it's not. Well, I
Well,
understand.
I'll
Well,
say,
it's not just how I raise them though, because the white kids would have to be accepted of it too. You feel me? So that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. I think white kids are the same way.
I get that, but you're still, don't discount how different you are because you were in the military, right?
Mm.
You are extraordinarily different, right? You may not seem it, right? You may not, just on the
Yeah,
surface, you may not seem it, but when you look at, matter of fact, I've shared this before. When you look at the test scores, right? For, oh, here it is. All right. So when you look at the test scores by grade level at the state, right?
hmm
And oh darn it, I lost the. Here it is. Okay, so look, green is black, right? So it's all the way at the bottom. I mean, effed up, terrible, right? But you get to, what is this green line that's like right in the middle? That's the highest green line. DOD Education Association, military kids. So being in the military, you are significantly different. What you put a lot of different things into your kids that other black people do not. They just don't. So that's all. That's just my point.
Okay, yeah. My mom was born in '58. Her and Michael Jackson got the same exact birthday. He's crazy, but nah, man. But no, that's all I'm saying, man. I'm just saying this whole thing, and like I said, I had heard of Matt Walsh before, and on some political shit, but not too real crazy, as far as the racial aspect gone. But I've definitely seen him turn up the temperature from the racial aspect of things within the last year or so. And
Oh no, it's been a long progress with Walsh, bro.
did he used to be Proud Boys or some shit?
Well, he was a lot more liberal than he is right now. He's definitely grown further into his conservatism. Like, I wanted to do some content on this because I was watching him and I had like some older clips of Matt Walsh, like before he even grew a beard and shit. He was way less conservative than he is now. And I think honestly, like, with conversations like black fatigue and all that shit happened over the years. Like, I think a lot of white folk are getting a lot bolder and a lot more vocal in their experience of race relations. Because for the most part, the race relations conversation has been one sided and one directional. It's everybody telling white people how awful they are. And I think, like, with this whole new era with Trump and this just new race approach. You got guys like Nick Fuentes out there becoming popular. A lot more white people are just willing to become vocal about what they consider their truth in this racial conversation. And Matt has been growing into that for a while now.
Yeah, and that's my thing, man. Listen, I'm all for everyone expressing themselves, and I'm all for, you know, white people not being, you know, tag the problem and the issue with everything in fucking America. I understand that aspect of it too, especially the white man. A white man been catching hell since what? Right before the lockdowns. I think that temperature started turning. You know, well, since my bad, I'm crazy. Since the Trump election, right? So when Trump got elected, all white men became the, you know, America's most wanted number one public enemy number one type shit, right? Especially if you're conservative, right? So I understand that, but at the same time, right? The black aspect of that, black people were a party to that. You weren't the fucking progenitors of that shit. That's some shit that white people did to white people. That's some shit that the fucking liberals did. Fucking Joe Biden and them. You feel me? Black people, of course, joined in because you had white people saying it against white people, and then you had the George Floyd shit happen, right? So I'm not saying that black people had no dealings or weren't involved, but what I'm saying is black people have never had the power to change the narrative of white people. That is something that happened from within, and then black people just tagged along because now it supports all of the shit that we've been told, you know, racism and discrimination and white supremacy and bullshit. So of course, you know, black people are gonna run with that. So I sympathize with that aspect of it, but it's the same thing that I'm saying right now. Just like white men don't want to be the face of the problem and the issues, everything that's wrong in fucking America, don't do the shit to us and say that we're the fucking face of violence. And just like the majority of us or all of us are violent and we're always a problem, is what I'm saying. Do we have violent people within it? And are there some violent niggas? Yes, obviously. But what I'm saying is you can't paint that brush to be like they're all this way. And we have to start, straight black men have to start saying this. Like, hey, bro, I'm not defending no criminal ass niggas. I'm not in support of no criminal ass niggas. Fuck them. Okay. Lock them up, throw the away key. But at the same time, bro, don't put me in that shit that don't represent me. That does not represent me. That does not represent the majority of us. So let's all start being men and talking about shit the actually the way it is. Now, Hood, I'm with you a lot. I'm sick of these white supremacy niggas. The white supremacy niggas gotta go. The white supremacy niggas, my bad, Sir Tice. The white supremacy niggas gotta go, bro. We have to get to a thing as to where you know, we're actually talking about the issues and problems and fixing them as much as we can fix them. So
Well, I wouldn't put Matt Walsh in that camp, but the white supremacy guys are few and far between. Like the true pure white supremacy guys, few and far between. And Matt Walsh is nowhere near there.
I wasn't talking about the actual white supremacists. I'm talking about I'm talking about black people.
Black guys.
I was gonna say. I caught it.
Yeah.
Late.
I'm talking about black people claiming white supremacy, not the actual white supremacists.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You can't talk down on our brothers. You doing the white man's work for him.
Right, exactly. Like basically what they say, like a salute to you three and Mr. Fantastic. What's good?
What's up?
Back on Tuesdays. What made me come up was when you had said oh God, what did you just say? We were talking about like what were the catalysts. Do you all remember when it was so pathetic? It was either right after when Congress had put on those Kenta cloths, and then there was this clip of these white people on their knees begging,
apologizing. Yeah.
Oh my God. God, if you're a white person at the time, it's like, okay, this is a little too much here, you know. But to the last of what I heard, what do we call them? I call them the inferiority complex in denial black people. These, everything is white supremacy and this, they gotta go. They're not specific. And salute to you and being able to debate these guys, because I don't have the patience anymore. They're not abreast of facts. You ask them to be specific about something like your steel man in your argument, and everything's gonna turn you just a coon, or you this, or as Free had just said, you doing the bidding. You what is it called? Butter biscuits. You doing a butter biscuits. Am I lying?
No.
And it's like we've lost. Here I'll say a very popular content creator you used to appear on. I saw him on this set, and he was trying to explain his points, and every 10 seconds he saw, but you like the white people or this, whatever. But that's white supremacy. And I'm in my head like, do y'all buffoons who yell this shit? And I blame Tariq Nasheed all for this because he's the one who popularized it. Next is the Jason Blacks. When you call these MFers white supremacists or white supremacy, you're basically complimenting them because that's what they call themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, do y'all put any logic into the names? Nope. Whatever's popular to say, we just gonna say it. Somebody's chopping at the bit. Go ahead.
It's like conceding that they don't have self-determination.
But
right?
they don't.
Because I know, but I'm saying they rationalize it with, hey,
Okay.
the white man is going to be able to do this and this to you if you do this and da 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 da. Right? Then it's like,
hey, free. We should build our own things, or we should police. we should police ourselves. Man, look what happened when we last did that.
Oh, and hey, I showed this here. Look, okay, so when people always complaining about Ilhan Omar, right? I just make the point that, Ilhan Omar, her district is 60% white. This is white people doing stuff to other white people.
Let me describe that
Right?
district.
The cultural Marxists won the late 20th century.
Let me describe that district for you since I lived there for 15 years. I didn't live in that district, but I lived in the area. Remember Mogadishu's in Sudan, right? I guess.
Remember? Somalia.
Yeah, Somalia. My bad. I meant Somalia. Remember all that stuff was happening?
Oh, yeah, Somalia.
Remember all that stuff was happening in the early 90s, like 90 through 93, 94. They had some kind of genocide. For some reason, Minnesota became the dumping ground for them all. And they literally brought what I call their most Marxist people there. And Ilhan Omar was a part of that. So one district used to be a bunch of projects that they had moved a lot of black people out. And that's what became the Somalians. And then another area is Phil in Minneapolis, the northern part of it is called, they call it Northeast, but it's actually Northeast, but they use the D in it. Man, this was those apologetic type of white folks or whatever, and that's how she got elected. But man, most black people who don't fuck with him there, but that's how she got there.
Yeah, man. Let me shout out to SKC, man. Appreciate you, SKC, brother, for the 2025 on the Cash App, brother. Oh, yeah, I got an echo on my tripping. Cool. Yeah. But nah, man. That's my thing, Sir Tice. I'm with you, bro. Listen, I think a lot of more vocalization has to happen, man. I think we need to speak out and shout down the niggas, man. I'm sick and tired of representation being niggas, right? And I'm gonna take responsibility and ownership of that and change it. I think the overrepresentation of all the wrong things, right, are seen as the status quo and seen as a representation of black men needs to change, right? Celebrities and athletes and rappers make up less than 1% of what we are, right? And the whole point of us doing this, the whole point of us grabbing microphones and cameras and speaking our minds is giving the actual, real people, not characters, not fucking scripts and shit, and so on and so forth, to how straight black men think and the things that we're working on to improve and move forward, right? Like everybody else does. I know for a fact, like I said, it's going to be a hindrance if there's these horrible preconceptions, right, and misconceptions of who and what straight black men are, right? And if if we don't push back against it, it's just gonna grow. Like I'm looking now, right? The dude that killed the girl, right? The asshole that they let loose.
North Carolina.
Yeah. No, not North Carolina. It's another one now. It's another one.
Damn.
And they're
There's
using
actually a lot of them. Fantastic. There's so many of them. It would ruin this conversation.
yeah, but well, it wouldn't ruin the conversation. But you know what I'm saying? Hood though, we just had 2 white boys kill black girls within the last 2 months. Remember the dude killed the girl on the date, and the other one chopped the girl up or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So when that happens, though, it doesn't get the media coverage. So when the white man is actually the criminal or the perpetrator, it doesn't get the media coverage, right?
I promise you, black people get shielded by the media.
No,
I swear to God, black people, the types of crime, especially when it comes to like you see a black guy kills a white girl. That should happen so often, bro. There's so many
well,
examples of
we
that.
got it can't
And
be
it never gets blown up into a national story the
yes.
way if it was a white guy doing it, typically it does get blown up. I'm surprised
No, it
that
doesn't.
one white guy didn't make the news.
No, it doesn't get blown up. What I'm saying is this, right? So what I'm saying is whenever it happens with the black man killing the white woman, right? Is here we go again and there they go and all the different things. Like I said, we looked at the numbers, and when you look at it, it's only maybe 200 people that black people kill out of the people that they kill, right? So it's 365 days in a year. So even if that's the case, right, at the highest numbers, it's probably not even, I don't know if it's even that high anymore, right? Is what I'm saying is it possibly it can't be always happening because most of those people and the victims are going to be men, not women. So I'm just looking at this from a rational standpoint, right? And I'm simply saying that making him the standard. He's a piece of shit, right? But don't make him the representation of all black men. That's the point, right? I'm not taking
Well,
away from being a piece of shit. I'm not taking away too many niggas killing white girls, right? But what I'm saying is that nigga and niggas like him. He don't represent us. That's what I'm saying.
I don't even think focusing on him individually is going to get us where you want to be. I think what has to happen is a little bit more like from the leadership side. So right now there is a black female judge who released him again. He's not in custody. So the guy on the train with the Ukrainian girl, he's not in custody. He gets released to some hospital thing. And apparently he's been released from custody over and over again. And so I
Uh,
think black leadership needs to actually get tougher on these things.
Well,
And that would kind of help solve some of the
well,
image problem.
let me say something, Hood. Let me say something to that point. This is what I mean. The difference between the way we communicate and others. And I don't want to act like we're smarter than everybody because I've learned a lot from people outside of the sphere or whatever you want to call us. But Hood and Fantastic, you know this, and Freeman, you definitely know this. Why aren't we, one thing in fact, I'm bringing this up because we used to talk about this when I used to come up here regularly on your Tuesday show. I can't even think of it right now today.
yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Okay. And this fucking, listen, none of this stuff is new, all this liberation. That's old communist shit. But the fact that niggas are basically, and I'm talking about, let me rephrase that, motherfuckers who are in power now, from Raphael Warnock to the Fannie Willises to these fucking judges, they're all Soros puppets. They get their money from the Open Society Foundation, and it's not enough of us that don't know this. The clown, the mayor in Chicago, Brandon Johnson, a Soros puppet. There is a direct connection to this, and many folks still don't get it. What logic or what kind of sense does it make to want to refuse help for crime, for example, or to keep freeing these people? Because we all know what Soros' objective is. And this has been told to us for years about Black people being nothing but a vanguard group or agents of chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another problem too. I'm trying to remember what city it was. Some fucking black female DA just released a man that was touching himself on a fucking playground.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
god,
I
man,
saw the
bro.
clip going out, and she said, "You know what? It may be wrong, but it's not a
Wrong, but it's not.
crime."
Yeah, not illegal. It's crazy. Yeah,
Oh
Agents
man,
of
Well,
chaos,
look at Abby
man.
Phillips. I know she's not an official, but Abby Phillips on CNN when the dude who stabbed the Ukrainian chick, and it was like, yeah, he'd been released for 14 previous time, and then she goes, "Did you want him to be in jail for the whole rest of his life?" And I'm in my head, oh my
I'm
god.
like, right? Well, I mean,
Yes.
hell, we could put him in that little chair and be done with it, but people are scared of that shit too.
Well, no, again, I think that's a issue and problem too, though, right? And I don't know what it is because they're white boys with rap sheets, but it never gets talked about, right? For real. And like you said, when it is, the problem is not being tough on fucking crime, bro. Again, people don't even understand. Crime is not punishment for crime. Jail and prison is not for rehabilitation. It's for punishment. That's the
Right.
first thing we need to get back to. You
But
fuck up, you pay the price.
no, we
Well,
get
let
that.
me let
I'm
me
saying,
let me tie a couple of threads together just real briefly because I was trying to make a point about the sexual assault in Black America, and now think about that, and you got this black female judge or DA or whatever saying that well, it's wrong, but it's not a crime. I'm telling you, they're hiding a lot of shit, bro. They are hiding so much shit. There has to be another explanation for why the community looks the way it does, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit being covered
It's
up, bro.
what else?
I
What else could
mean,
it be?
it's the
But this,
matriarchy, dude. Look what I put on screen, right? This is Memphis. Memphis has a black mayor, right? So from the outside, you can say, "Oh, it's not that matriarchal." They get a chief of police is a woman. Almost the entire school board is women. Two black dudes that are, I don't know, 9. And the judges, speaking of crime and punishment, look at the judges. Of the black judges, most of them are women, right? This is a matriarchal dominated city that is overrun with crime.
is this a
Is there a majority female jurisdiction that isn't overrun with crime?
That's a
No.
good point. Is this a graphic you created?
Yeah, I created this. So
Okay.
I went out and got these photos so you can see it visually. You can see the matriarchy in real form, right?
Oh shit! Can I hold on to that? I might need to use that for something one day. I gotta tap dance on this shit here.
Well, no, yeah,
I'll send it
you
to you. But
remember
look,
that the chief of police there was the one that was fired in Atlanta, and that's the one that was over the case of where the 4 black
Sakaria
cops beat the
Turner.
yeah.
boy, yeah,
Well, she
beat the
the
boy,
Scorpion unit. Scorpion
yeah,
unit. Yeah.
yeah, and somehow she kept her job, which is crazy, but I guess I don't know,
Well, no,
man.
or she was able to go to another district.
No. She went from Atlanta to there, and it happened while she been there. She's still the chief of police.
Oh,
She got fired in Atlanta or got relieved, the way you want to call it, in Atlanta. Memphis picked her up, and then that happened on her watch.
this is
Scorpion
insane.
Squad. They say.
This is insane, but also not surprising. But my thing is these dots are easy to connect. This all goes back to the money. Like all these stupid protests.
Well,
Do
yeah,
you ever really?
I'll be honest, man. The right of center people, just in mass media, conservative Inc. aren't far right enough. To be honest, you think any of these guys are going to make this graphic and say, "Why is the black community a matriarchy?" They wouldn't
Thank
touch
you.
this with a 10-foot pole. You think Charlie
There is
Kirk?
no middle, Freedmen's Journal. There is no
Yeah,
middle. You have to be
you-
far right.
bro. Do you think Charlie Kirk would say, "Nah, MLK was a Marxist agent"?
Of
No.
course not. Although he was.
Yeah, none of these guys are going to call the civil rights movement a Marxist psyop. None of them.
Well, they don't know what it is though.
Fam, we
That's
can't hear you.
you can't hear me now.
You just went on mute.
I should be unmuted. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Maybe
I
it's
can
me.
hear you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it has to be
yeah,
tight. So I hear you.
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, man. Ignorance is one of the major issues and problems. And like you said, when you say this, I think there's a lot of emotionality too, man. You can't say nothing bad about Martin Luther King. What's his name? Chad O. Jackson. I think he's doing a documentary, isn't he? Or is he completed it already?
Yeah, he is. He's doing a
Yeah,
documentary. It's
Yeah.
almost ready.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And people don't know this, man. It's like I said, the Frankfurt School and all this different stuff. That was a fucking Marxist, fucking communist, fucking school of training, and people don't even know this. I remember I did it. that the "We shall overcome" was a slogan that they stole from the Cuban what's the name, the Cuban Revolution, right? And you just and
Yeah.
all you do is wash, rinse, and repeat. So once you get this thing going, man, and you get niggas emotionally attached to it, you can never attack it. You can never tear it down. This is why I say too, the whole George Floyd situation is probably going to be 20, 30 years from now before people look back and actually start addressing that for what it truly is, because there's so much emotional attachment to it.
Well,
Yeah.
think about like George Floyd in the terms of like white people having a pushback moment, right? Charlie Kirk is now the white George Floyd in a lot of ways. They have a symbol and a rallying cry. They have a grievance. This is you're gonna have. We're gonna have to deal with the pushback of it all. I look at the George Floyd era as a giant sin, and now we have to atone for that shit.
No, I don't think it's us having to atone for it. I think, like I said, how I want to say this. I'm gonna stick on what I said earlier. There's an overrepresentation of victimization with niggas, right? And black people having this. It's too many white supremacist niggas. It's too many. The white man won't let me niggas. It's too many. The white man got his foot on my neck and my foot on my back. No, bro. No, dog. You live in the greatest fucking country in the world, bro. You got people that can't even speak the language that are here for less than a generation and they're rich. Okay, consistently. Why can't we take the fucking things that those people are doing, copy it, and then you know what I'm saying, and multiply it? You feel me?
You
I
know
just
why?
don't.
You know why?
Go ahead.
Families. If you accept that we need families, what is the first? I mean, what immediately happens if you actually believe that? What happens? You
Well,
turn
shit.
right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, well, yeah. For one, like you said, more stable, more educated children, more well behaved children, less crime, more home ownership, just a lot more positives.
Yeah, that's what happens. But no. What happens if you believe they have to have more families? What is the first problem you encounter
What's that?
before anything else?
For women,
The women. That is the first thing you encounter. If you accept
yep.
that as a black man, you need more families, this, that, and the other. The first problem you run into is a woman. It's like having a realization and taking one step and hitting a brick wall.
Well, what and again, man, I that's why I keep telling when I be, trying to explain to people outside of this. I'm like, bro, you're telling black men to start at a deficit and to, what I'm saying, be second place in the gene pool. And that's just unrealistic, man. When the minority of women don't have kids already. You feel me? So it's literally going to take, what I'm saying? It's going to take like probably a generation and a half. And for those, you know,
Here, here's my plan. You have to make it so awful on all the other women, right? That women under a certain age are just like, I want nothing to do with that.
exactly.
I need
That's
a
what I'm saying.
husband. I mean, like you see, I think you see that in small spurts now, because like even like 3-4 years ago, you know, you see social media videos on where are the good men at? I'm like, when black women weren't making those videos back then, they were making a F these ninjas video
Yeah.
still, right? Now you see these little snippets of younger women saying, oh, we love you, black men, right? Because they see their old ass aunties looking terrible. So keep knees on necks till the younger generation figures it out in mass, right? And
No,
that
that's
that
that's
is,
that's what I was saying. It's going.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to take a generation and a half at least for the women to have a totally different attitude towards men and families and all those different things. I think the good thing that is happening out of this, though, in which I won't say good thing, right? Because we truly can't tell the methods as to how and why it's happening, is that the younger girls are not having kids as much as their predecessors, right?
That's
So,
actually a bad thing. It's a very bad thing.
huh?
It's actually a bad thing. That is a very bad thing. Young women, we need young women to actually produce the future.
Well, no. I'm saying so no. So if they're not gonna have them within a family unit, that's horrible. So you're gonna have to have a pause first and a reset as to where women are having children with either long-term relationships or husbands.
Let me kind of fill out a little bit of what Freeman Journal was talking about. I think in order, a part of keeping knees on necks, it has to be economic because it was never romantic to begin with. And so, like look at the Kentucky law with you get automatic 50-50 custody and all that. It divorce rate by like 25% over the last few years because I think the law is from 2019. And so what's going to have to happen is a rollback of some of these privileges, some of these hiring practices, affirmative actions and whatnot. We actually have to reset the playing field between men and women in a lot of ways because you'll never really shake that birthing problem unless we actually get women on a different life track.
No, I
Right. Yeah.
agree.
That's true. Well, you know what? That thing is, you see it happening, right? All the right moves are being made, right? Trump is reforming welfare, so it's no longer generational, booting out all the illegals, right? And then that's it. Next thing you know, I mean, you could say jobs programs. I would say something like that, but there are community colleges everywhere. Basically, it just needs to say if you need a leg up, go to your local community college, right? And that is I think that's the best outcome for low class blacks. I mean, I think that's the best. That's this opportunity is the best they're gonna have, and whoever
Yeah, if
makes it
they
out of
had
this makes it out of this. Whoever doesn't, permanent mud seal.
if they come up with some type of national revitalization campaign where we start working on bridges and fixing up American infrastructure, it's off to the races at that point. A lot of men will have jobs and be able to pay homeowner. I mean, be able to earn a head of household salary. Maybe you can keep your wife at home and get her a little side hustle selling cute girl stuff. But like
No.
it really is economic more so than romantic. You have to reset the economic and legal playing field.
What is and they're doing it. They did it in Kentucky, right? Kentucky made what 50-50 the standard, and they said they had a substantial drop in divorces and shit, right?
Twenty five
Florida's doing
percent.
something similar, huh?
25%.
Yeah, 25% drop in divorces. Florida's doing something similar as to where he's giving the father's rights. I think,
Mhm.
especially with this, right? So the wonderful thing, man, about what's going on now in the southern states, the red states, so on and so forth. And this is how it's gonna have to happen. They're they're forcing women to do the right thing. You have to. It's fucked up. It may be whatever, it's on and so forth, how the fuck you want to look at it. But if you give women the fucking option, bro, they're gonna choose fucking chaos. They're gonna choose calamity every time. So once you start taking away all those incentives, right? And Freedmen's, I think that's a big thing that most people don't even understand about this shit. The black community, especially, right? The black man was replaced by the child and the government as a source of fucking um provision, right?
Mhm.
Twofold system. You get her pregnant, she get the baby. Now she fucking kick your ass to the curb. She go apply for government assistance. Then she put your ass in court for fucking family court, and you gotta pay child support. And she has all of the leverage and control without you having any say so, right?
Yep.
The more you take that shit away and you make it to where, and somebody's gonna be bold enough to do it. I don't know who, right? But what people don't understand and don't know, right, is that family court was never intended for baby mama, baby daddy shit. And what's really gonna have to happen is like, hey, you had these kids, no motherfucking marriage, baby. Tough titty. That's that right there. If whoever, whatever
Think it's
governor, whatever fucking state is bold enough to do that, that shit right there changed it overnight, bro.
We're
Yeah, I
bringing
think
bastards
it'll
back,
happen.
y'all.
No,
We
I
got to
think
bring
it'll
bastards back as a legal class.
right. I think it'll happen because everybody's broke. Like we're talking about government finances. Everybody's broke, right? New York City is staring down a $7 billion deficit.
Hey, that's
They
another
can't
thing
keep
too.
the
Freeman, shout
programs
out to
up.
Freeman. Man. Freeman's dropping a lot of gems. Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm saying they can't keep the programs up. They can't. The ability
And
for
if
women
Trump
to
if
live
Trump
without
snatch
men
away
can't do it.
federal fundings, now what? So that's another part people not understanding too. Hey, I pull all this motherfucking federal funding, all these safety nets, all this motherfucking fluff and shit you got. Nah, motherfucker, you gotta run your state, you know what I mean, efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's just no money there, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's nationwide. It's not just a red state or a blue state, right? Maybe it's exacerbated in blue states, but trust me, Dallas is broke, right? Houston is broke, right? They are broke. And these cities are gonna have to scale back significantly,
A lot.
right? Everywhere. So, and who's overrepresented in programs and overrepresented in the public sector that administers the exact same programs, right? Black women in mass are going to have to figure it out because between AI and a broke public sector, their future job prospects are in the crapper, like all the way. So this trend, I think, is going to have an outsized effect on Black people, like most things, right? So the marriage numbers will go up. They will, because people gonna get hungry, right? It is what it is. So yeah, and if you look at I put the chart up, but if you look at like marriage rate over time, and it's all kind of gone down, but recently in the last couple of years, the two highest income levels, their marriage rate has gone up, while the bottom three income quintiles went down. So they know what's up, right? So anyway, it's happening. It's happening slowly but surely. It is happening.
Shout out to him, man. Teapot, man. The Prophet of Thought series in the building. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Peace, brother. Fantastic. Peace to you, Teapot, man. Greatly, you know what I'm saying? Glad to see you, brother. Always good to see you in the building. Shout out to him, man. Sir Tice, man, for the 10 on the cash out. Greatly appreciate you. Say for salute to you too, man. Appreciate you, brother. Greatly appreciate you. But yeah, man. Like I said, I think once this shit's all said and done, man, and eventually I think Black people are gonna be broken out of the fucking LBJ curse, right? I think we'll probably live to see the beginning of it. We'll be up out of there before, you know what I'm saying? We'll get to see it before we go on to glory or whatever. But all this shit Trump is doing right now, bro, is to force correct, bro, like women's
poor decisions.
Not even poor decisions. It's not even poor decisions. It's like, bro, women are purposely trying to destroy society, bro. This is purposeful. Women are like, you know, I'm woman, hear me roar, penis envy at an all-time high. They want to make men suffer. Men are this. Bitches is out here talking about men. All men should start in prison and work their way out. All this type of crazy shit, bro. You have to. We went way too far from, hey, you know, hey man, it's kind of bad, you know. We can't, you know, every woman shouldn't be motherfucking barefoot and pregnant, to now where, you know, bitches can do everything that men can do, type shit, and it's just bad, man. It was an overcorrection to
Are you
suffrage.
familiar at all with the concept of the shit test? Fantastic.
Yeah,
I look at feminism as like a civilizational shit test right now. In a lot of ways, like women almost can't help their nature any more than men can help our nature. And it's within within a woman's nature to constantly test the boundaries and the borders. And it feels like feminism is a giant civilizational shit test. Like as a civilization, if you cannot actually get your pimp hand strong enough to keep the women in line, then maybe you don't deserve your civilization, and the women will destroy it for you if you're not strong enough to stop them. It really is something like that in a big metaphysical way.
no, I agree. That's why, like I said, but you know, I think America's become too liberal on that shit, bro. I think America's come way too liberal, too progressive on, you know, I'll just say being firm with women. Of course, I'm not saying necessarily allowing physical violence and shit, right? But just telling a bitch, hey, bitch, shut the fuck up and sit down. No, right? Like you can't even do that. And a lot of the times, that's why shit gets so bad, because you can't even be like before, before the shit got out of hand. So now, there's a physical reaction. It's like, hey, look, bitch, sit the fuck down and shut up. This is what we got to do, right? Are you going to help? Are you going to do it? Oh, you don't want to do it? So let me fucking do what I need to do and you not distract me. And then you get to enjoy what the fuck I'm doing for you.
Bro, corrective slaps used to be part of the code, right? That was like written in the law. Like, yeah, you can smack your wife up a little bitch. You're talking. But look, I think I was laughing because I just realized that all women come on a sliding scale of need to choke, right? Some of you only got to choke a little. Some you got to choke the shit out of, and that is their default. Promise you, like, man, just everyone's had that one chick where you were like, you weren't willing to go there, so you just had to break it off. Like, I can't do it. Like, I just couldn't go there. Like, nah, I can't. Shorty, I can't do it. I can't propose. I got to be choking you every other week. I'm a every 6 month choker. That's a little too much for me. There's too much corrective action required. It's a whole nother job.
Right, I got shit to do. I can't be babysitting you all this time.
Yeah, like, got a mortgage to pay, sweetheart. I gotta stay up late and work on this project. I ain't got time for all that. Gotta let you go.
So
you know what? That's like, go.
And what you have, man?
No, I was asking, what do you have something else you came back?
No, but I do have a question about the theme of the show because I didn't hear much of it. So listen, I look at Matt Walsh. Okay, look, I don't have to, I'm not one of those people, and this is one thing that I think we have an issue with, is that when I say we, I mean we as Black American men, not all of us, but many. I don't have to like you to agree with some of your points. Whereas you got many dudes who are like that, but there are some things I'll even say Matt is way off on, or I'm like, okay, Matt doesn't talk to many people outside of his own circle. But what is he suggesting here? Or why did you, because Matt wouldn't bust a grape in anything.
No, and I think that's the stereotypes, and that's what I'm saying, right? And this is I think this is where we get to the wrong people being leaders or having the microphone, the megaphone, or the voice, and he's inciting all of these things to pretty much leading up to that. Again, I don't believe a race war is actually gonna pop off or none of that shit, right? But he's definitely trying his best to get it to be that way from the looks of it. And
Well, no, don't even. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, don't even look at it in terms of like white people are gearing up for a race war. I really do think that is the ultimate of worst possible scenarios. I don't really expect that. What I think is happening, like take Matt Walsh off the table, right? Because you say Walsh isn't going to bust a grape in a fruit fight, right? Does Nick Fuentes look like he's going to beat up a black guy at all in his life? Yet he's got an army of young white, not even white, but mostly white listeners who are just over the black shit. And that's really what's going to happen next. Is a lot, you're just going to lose ears for the black shit, bro. Nobody wants to hear that as much anymore.
Okay, so what you're saying in summary, and I somewhat agree with this, is that, the hug that many black people so desperately want, shout out to Chronicles, they're not going to get not only not the hug, but that sympathetic ear. Oh, I understand your plight, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, they're going to just say, shut up, nigger. I swear to God, that's what's coming.
Look, and here's the thing. This isn't like 1950, right? Black and white is thoroughly integrated. Like I showed the chart from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, right? Like the homes with the highest home values are integrated. It's not like the whole premise of see how messed up black people are, it's got to be white people's fault. Like, what? You know, especially in the South, you know how many white people know a black person is doing better than them? Not even, but better. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
that's what I'm saying, Freeman. He's not talking to them, right? And I think that's how I was saying this with the whole other thing, right? I don't think people understand just how easy it is to radicalize somebody, right? So I think what was happening is he's like you guys, he's talking to those white people that were taught about, you know, all black people being this and that and all these different things and so on and so forth, right? He's giving them the red meat that they want, and all it takes is look, here they go again, here they go again, here they go again, right? And until one time, you know, might be the one that pushes one individual over the edge to do some crazy shit. Is all I'm saying. So that's why I'm directly addressing it, because like I said, I saw him do the thing with the Carmelo Anthony situation, which was again, I'm not excusing it, but that was a big part of the reason why niggas did what they did, like dumbasses, right? And gave the $500,000 because of the stuff that was being said by Matt Walsh. He's one of the major people to kick it off, right?
You really think that was about Matt Walsh, bro?
A part of it, no, a part of it. Like I said, yeah, I saw it.
Do you not think that was internally there already?
No. So again, no, and I can tell you, I can walk all the way down for you. So the white dude said something, right? Is how niggas looking at it, right? Matt Walsh and a couple of other people, but he's like the most notable one, right? You know, and then niggas turning into this thing of where, oh, he was a bully and they jumped him, and you know, the white man always think he can do shit and la, right? So we gonna get back at the white man and we gonna give money to the black boy for killing the white man and then make fun of it, right? That's what the shit was. Niggas
Do you
wasn't
remember?
out the gate, huh?
Do you remember cheering for OJ when he got off as a teenager?
No, I was in the
I,
elementary school, bro.
I
I
do.
was in high school. I was in high school,
No,
and
they
we all partied. We
you're not that
emptied
much
the
older.
hallways, bro.
Wait. How old are you? You're not that much older than me.
I'm 42.
Yeah, no, nigga, we was in elementary school. Fuck you talking about?
I was in ninth grade.
No, the fuck you wasn't for
Ninth
OJ.
grade?
Nigga, I was in ninth grade, and yeah,
Oh,
I was
I'm
I'm telling you,
52
brother,
and
you're
I was in
sadly
high school.
with
yeah.
OJ. Hold on, in the OJ trial.
Yes, nigga, we were in
What
elementary
year was
school.
that? What year
We
was
was in
OJ?
elementary school, bro.
94.
Yes,
94.
94. I was class
yes.
of 99.
Well, brother,
Yeah,
unless
exactly.
you
That's
got
7
a
years.
time machine that we don't
So
know about, I'm telling
no,
you. So
I'm
let me
pretty
tell you.
sure I'm pretty sure I was still in high school. But the
I,
point I'm
I'm
trying to make
confident
though is that
you were a genius and you skipped a lot of grades.
no, I didn't skip grades, but I was like
Yes,
younger
you
than
did.
everybody else in the ninth grade.
Point was people partied. Like we finally got away
Well,
with one.
yeah. I was gonna say this. I was gonna say, bro. I remember that shit, bro. You know, the rollout TV, bro. We watched the verdict in the whole school, the whole Walter P. Jones Elementary School, Macon, Georgia, bro. We all went into the fucking cafeteria. They rolled the TV out live, and the adults start clapping. So of course we start clapping. Just to find out that y'all see the interview like last month where the lady said, yeah, we knew we thought he was guilty, but said fuck it. Y'all see that?
No, wow. I need to look that up.
Look it
And
up, bro.
that's exactly why I brought this
Of
up
course
to
they
point out
did.
that that sentiment was already there. They didn't need Matt Walsh to hate white people.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Hood. But again, this is why I'm saying, Nick, bro, niggas infatuation with beating the white man, and because they put so much value in him, Hood, that shit holds a lot of weight. So what they did was, right, oh, we gonna get back at them because we gonna help the black kid get off, and we gonna celebrate, and we gonna throw him a whole bunch of money. What white people do? The white girl come around and call the little kid hard R, and y'all pockets ain't as deep as us because it ain't many of you. You feel me? So
Well, I don't think
That's so funny though.
Carmelo. I don't think all that money Carmelo Anthony got was majority black by any means. I just don't see it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was probably some
I
white liberals in
don't see
there.
it. You tell me where you see black people spend money like that
No,
Yeah,
as a
white
group.
liberals, bro. I'm telling you,
As
white
a
that white
group.
money deep, bro. That white money so deep. Bunch of
That's
but
gay men probably
I
gave
think
that
that's a
nigga some
whole.
money.
I think
that
that was
now
a
listen,
whole lot of
now that's
Soros
the first
money.
time. That's the first time I even thought about that concept of it being like some interest group or whatever throwing the bread. But from where it was portrayed, right? And of course, with GoFundMe, they show all the givers and shit. It was made to seem like the majority of the money, if not, what I'm saying, the majority, if not all of it, was given by just random black people. You feel me? That's the way it was made to
What
be seen.
they had a bunch of people registered. Rashida Jenkins and
Yeah, you just go down the
Terrell
list, look at the
Terrell
list.
Hawkins. I mean,
Yeah, I think
because
if let me see. Do they tell you? I think they might tell you how many people actually gave, right? Let me
yeah,
see.
but a lot of people,
And it's
but we
Gibson go.
know
Carmelo
because
Anthony Gibson go.
I know as you're looking that up, I know that Act Blue was very good at like like I'll use a specific name, Jasmine Crockett's campaign donations. 85% of her money came from outside of her district, which tells you, like she wasn't even national then, and then how coincidental she's in a picture with Alex Soros. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
they have the thing where they know how to write. And I remember also that ties into this is that they went to people's house who did donate, but they used their names for higher donations. So there's
Oh
ways of
yeah. Smurfing. Yeah, they were like
that's what it's
that
called.
old lady.
Okay.
They were like,
Yep.
hey, have you donated 50 times to these candidates? He's
Right.
like, no, I haven't given any money to anything. And she's like, well,
Yeah.
according to
And
this, you've given 50 different times for $3,500. She's like,
right.
I don't know.
I've donated maybe once $5 or $10, you know. But I never thought about that was all the special interest. It's like, boom, this is a great target to use right here. I will say I don't want to get into that case because when I heard that they're using a public attorney, or maybe they're not now, or somebody's picking it up, but it's like you didn't hear that, fan? Oh no, the way you look, you didn't hear that story about the Carmelo Anthony,
Which one?
that they were, despite what they collected, they were using a public attorney.
Oh no, yeah, they put in they said it was just standard though. They said
Oh,
they put that in as a standard thing.
I got you.
I don't know what's going on. I think have they set a trial date for that
I
yet?
haven't been following it that closely.
Yeah,
You know,
tried
I
to look.
wonder why they take so long to release that video. By the way, looking at these videos of people being stabbed, you got the white guy and the black guy. What happened to the Carmelo video?
Well, from what they're saying is that video, the school footage, wouldn't be significant. I think now what's everybody wants is like some sort of cell phone footage or whatever. But at least for now, it's just not. If it's there, it hasn't been released for whatever reason. I don't know.
All right, fellas, salute. I'm gonna listen to the closeout. Good
Yeah,
talking with
appreciate you,
y'all.
Tice. Yeah, man. I'm
All
about
right,
to
thanks.
get up out of here. But nah, you guys got any closing thoughts, man?
I'll just say this one thing. I think as far as racial tensions in America, a lot of white folk are becoming more vocal and getting bold and dropping N bombs and making memes and videos and shit. And I do think that a lot of that is them just feeling attacked and going on they're finally going on the offense after a while. But in the grand scheme of things, black folk been pushing for like 50, 60 years, bro. It's time to just take a break. It really is time to just fall back and let things settle a bit. But I'll catch you later, bro. This is good talking to you, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Freeman's, what you got, man?
I would say promote civilized black people, right? Promote the fact that there are high degrees of integration. And if you're telling me you can't find upstanding black people, then you ain't looking. And maybe that's because you don't make any money off that. So, and I would that's how I call people the carpet. That's just me though. And stay safe, enjoy your family, buy ammo. All right, I'll let you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. Shout out to Freeman's. Again, that's my whole point of this, man. I told you guys, and for the most part, I think I've kept my word in being for the promotion, the success, the care, the acknowledgement of straight black men and boys, bro. All right, that's what this platform started out as. It was go in as whenever, if it ever ends or whatever. I'm concerned with us not being typecast or stereotyped into some bullshit that clearly doesn't represent the majority of us. Okay, piece of shit niggas are piece of shit niggas. Just like piece of shit white folks, piece of shit white folks, piece of shit Asians, piece of shit Asians, piece of shit Arabs, piece of shit Arabs, you know, and so on and so forth, right? All right. White folks, y'all got too much shit going on right now that don't concern us. So just don't put us in the shit, man. All right. Well, seriously, if all the black people around you are bad black people, hey, you probably live in a bad area and you're not too far removed from the black people that you can't stand. Okay. If you as a white person can't find a good black person, that means that you are not that much of a well-to-do white person. Okay. All right. There's plenty of us out here, man, that are the majority, vast majority of black men, okay, law-abiding, tax-paying, assets to society. Okay. Fathers, sons, you know, brothers, husbands, all those things, man. All right. People depend on us just like they depend on y'all, right? But I think what Matt Walsh is doing clearly has a purpose. That's very, very could be dangerous and detrimental. And I hope there's too small of a contingent of the people in his crowd that actually believe the bullshit, you know, so nothing crazy happens. You feel me? All right. At the end of the day, I don't do the racism thing and a whole bunch of bullshit, but this right here, bro, is overt. Okay. And saying that black men commit way more violent crime or way more violent than white men is just bullshit rhetoric, bro. Okay. Again, like I said, if you just want to stick to the murders and whatever, so on and so forth, yeah, you have a point. But now you're proving my point in where you're purposely leaving out the most vile of violent crime in the sexual violation of women and children. Okay. Minors. So at the end of the day, man, hey, this is the White Collar Crime, Volume 2. Another thing too, man. Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone. Y'all white ladies gotta stop fucking all these kids. That's another thing. Talking about black men. Listen, white folks, y'all got a whole bunch of shit going on right now, man. You need to look within, not outside. The call is literally coming from in the house in several fucking phones. Okay. I'm not saying this to gloat or any of these things and so on and so forth, but what I'm saying is straight black men shouldn't be a focus. Not right now. The amount of atrocities and tragedy and all kinds of motherfucking chaos and calamity, straight black men should not be on your radar right now. Okay. Wait a minute. Hey, Miss Fantastic 84 on all social media platforms. That's that on that one. Catch y'all on next one. Holla, we out.